behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We have another interview in just a moment. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons below you there. You're always going to be notified of any new episodes coming your way when you do that. And also, if you feel like it, leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And also, pay attention to the description part and the closing credits at the end of the show, because we're going to have contact info for you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Boston, Massachusetts today, we have Neill Byrnes. He's from a group called Draw the Line, and it's a tribute band to Aerosmith. And they're actually endorsed by the real Aerosmith, and they're a real awesome band. I think you're going to really enjoy this interview. And we'll get to that in a second, but first, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away, we'll be right back, right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Boston, Massachusetts, we have Draw the Line. They're an Aerosmith tribute. As a matter of fact, they're the only tribute that's been endorsed by the real Aerosmith, and that's got to be an honor right there.
How are you, my friend?
Oh, doing okay. Yeah. Like I was saying, that's got to be an honor to be endorsed by the real Aerosmith.
You know, it's been really quite an honor. You know, and it happened very early on in our career too. It happened in the '90s, and they had come out to see us, and then Steven went publicly on the radio giving the band his endorsement, and then we reached out to them and through their attorneys and stuff, and got written permission to be able to advertise ourselves as the original endorsed Aerosmith show. So they've been nothing but gracious towards us throughout these years. We've been very fortunate.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you must have been a real big Aerosmith fan to begin with, to give back on something like this. Is that how it happened? Maybe it's something deeper than that, but.
Well, it's funny, if you're like a sports fan, you have your it's the Crimson Tide in Alabama, right? Up here it's the Red Sox and the Patriots and the Celtics and the Bruins, and it's Aerosmith. Aerosmith is our hometown band, right? The root for the home team, and we grew up loving Aerosmith. I mean, Aerosmith's been around my whole entire life since I was, born, and until now. They just recently kind of, retired. So they're the hometown team, and I take a little, and I know the whole band does, we take pride in being able to represent them out into the public. That's an honor,
Okay, well, that's good. Well, I think the interesting thing is that you look a lot like Steven Tyler, and it's so amazing. I think that's a plus, I think, as far as that goes.
Yeah, it's kind of a freaky thing, I guess. Us being, Steven's lived up in the Massachusetts and the South Shore area of Massachusetts, where I live. We lived very close to each other for a good, 20, 25 years, and it was always kind of like a running joke that I was this bastard child, and I always tell people, well, it's in the water up here. We all look like Steven Tyler, it's funny, yeah.
Well, that's interesting anyway. Did you have any other bands you grew up with that also influenced you? Maybe you can mention a few of those.
I when I grew up, some of the bands that, I was exposed to as a young kid, that really got me wanting to be a performer, believe it or not, like the Monkees. Remember watching that Monkees, the TV show?
Yeah, I remember.
I was enthralled by that as a kid, and I'm like, oh, wow, these guys got great songs, and I want to be that guy. And then, and then after the Monkees, I would say, as I got a little older, it was Kiss. I was really heavily into Kiss for a long time, and Ace Frehley was the guy for me. I wanted to be him, and then when I started, really getting exposed to great rock and roll, it was all those great '70s bands, Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jeff Beck, The Who, you go back, of course, the Beatles. The Beatles had been an influence, coming up my whole life. And, I am definitely more partial to the 60s and 70s stuff. Jimi Hendrix, you go back to the artists at Woodstock and that sort of thing. And then I am more to the 80s, because I was really getting into those bands, right around my coming of age, and those are the bands that kind of influence my musical directions and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and like you mentioned, the Monkees. I mean, they're obviously a legend, and Kiss, and the Beatles, Stones. You can't go wrong with the legends like them either. Now, I know you're not on streaming, but how can we find you? I mean, are you on social media? Do you have an official website? I mean, tell everybody about that.
Well, we got a great presence on Facebook. It's at DTL20. You can find us, but it's or Draw the Line. Either one will come up, and the website. That's the main thing. The website. We got a mailing list on the website that you can join and get all the latest up-to-date information about the shows, because we travel all across the country, and that's drawtheline.net. Now we do have a YouTube page as well. Draw the Line. I think it's at like 5637, I believe the numbers are. But yeah, you can find us there and check out our videos there if you want to see what the band looks like performing and that sort of thing. And I'm not really on social media much anymore. I've just kind of shied away from it. I still get on there to post for the band and stuff like that, but for the most part, I tend to stay away from that. It can be so toxic.
Okay, well, that's fine. And if you go to that website he was just talking about, drawtheline.net, I do believe you said, he just said that he tours a lot, and there's gonna be concert dates for you to check them out. And I know you're really gonna enjoy the show. And the video we're about to show you was kind of a demo of some of the songs that you do, that Aerosmith does, excuse me. And these must be some of the best ones you enjoy performing.
I love all the songs, but some of my favorites are on this video. But if you go to the YouTube page, you can get full songs and that sort of thing, and check out if you want to see how if it's not enough for you.
Okay. And like I said, I know you guys are going to love it. We're going to get to that in a second. But Neill, thank you so much for being on the show. Anytime you want to come back and plug something new, give me a holler. I'll see if I can get you back on sometime.
Thank you so much. And just another note for you. We do have an original song out. It was recorded by Jack Douglas of Aerosmith fame. He produced it, and it's on the website. I think it's on the merch page for download. If you go on the merch section of the website, you can actually hear the song. It's pretty cool. You can see what we sound like if we were to ever do an original band.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody check that out, like he said, and let's go to that demo, and it starts right now.
Draw the Line's been going since 1991. Aerosmith is America's greatest rock band. Being from Boston like Aerosmith, we feel that we're the most authentic thing, paying tribute to them. And we feel such a privilege to be able to go out night after night and play this music to people who really appreciate it and love this band. Aerosmith is just recently retired, so you can't see them anymore. So if people need their fix, we're the next best thing, I guess. Aerosmith's its own community. It's the Blue Army. For us to be able to be a part of that, it's been an honor and a privilege. people ask us, how we got the endorsement. Steven Tyler came to one of our shows and said, if there's one band, it's Draw the Line. I'm all like, wow. It was amazing that he went out there and gave us that endorsement. We asked if we could use that to promote ourselves, and through the graciousness of him and the band, they've allowed us to use that, and we've tried to live up to their standard of putting on the best rock and roll show that there ever was.
Same old story, same old song. My friend, you can sing.
We like to take you on a ride, just as Aerosmith we do. We're going to hit you hard in the beginning, take you through some classics and some deep cuts, play some of the more popular tunes from the 80s and the 90s, and we're going to end it on a very high note for you. You're going to be wishing there was more when you left. Aerosmith's America's greatest rock and roll band, and to be able to bring that to people, it's truly an honor to do that. I never take it for granted. That music is just so timeless, and we feel very fortunate to be able to do it.
Sweat talking on my real face like a jet. I said, well, get up and go, must have got up and went. Oh, well, I got good news, she's a real good liar. Cause backseat boogie set your pants on fire. You know what I'm talking about?
So if you want to get in touch with us or find out, join our mailing list, something like that, go to drawtheline.net, or you can visit the Draw the Line fan page on Facebook and keep in touch with us that way.
Seesaw swinging with the boys in the school and your feet flying up in the air. Sing, hey, diddle, diddle, with your kitty in the middle and the string like tin care.
The rumor of false. I am not Steven Tyler's bastard son. But I get asked out.